Hello. Good Sunday morning. Still morning. Accountability and grace. That's what I want to talk to you today about. Accountability and grace. Two things that we often lack hugely when it comes to ourself and our health and our goals. We lack accountability, self-accountability, and we do not give ourselves grace. So it's, I feel like I repeat the same things over and over and over, but you know what? Repetitive, what's the word? Repetitive, whatever. When you repeat things over and over and over, that's how they sink in, right? So quickly, I want to recap my past 7 weeks for you. In case maybe you're new, maybe, you haven't seen, whatever, okay? So the past 7 weeks, I have had major plastic surgery, okay? Meaning I have an incision, had an incision from right below my chest down to right above my pelvic line, or my pubic line, whatever the hell you call it. And then I also have an incision from hip to hip, and I also have incisions under my breast and around my areola. Okay, major surgery, major recovery. Okay, so I have that. Physically, not a fun recovery. Not the worst thing in the world. I probably would have said something different in the first week or two, but in hindsight, yes, it's a very tough recovery. I'm still recovering. I still have very sore areas very sore areas. When they did this surgery, it was to remove excess skin. They also do muscle repair of your abdomen, which is probably the most painful part of the surgery or recovery. So I still have a very sore abdomen. Okay, so I have that. Now, physically, yes, it's a tough recovery. Physically, yes, it takes many, many weeks and many, many months to, recover. And I'm on week 7. But emotionally, that plays a toll as well. Plastic surgery is a very unique emotional ride, okay, and that's a whole nother topic, okay. But for the past 7, well, we'll say 6 weeks for sure, because at 6 weeks I was released to go into start introducing exercise again. I wasn't a super active person, but I'm pretty active. My job is personal training and fitness instructing, plus I have my own workouts, and plus I just can't sit still. Really, my mind can't sit still more than my body. My body could move a little more. But anyway, okay, I want to keep this on task, okay? Which I have a hard time doing. So I have that emotion, okay? So not being able to do my normal things, exercise, which was very normal for me, and it was very necessary for me, not because I love fitness. Please do not get it mixed up, okay? If you don't know me personally, or maybe you're new to my page, or maybe you were introduced to me through fitness, my passion, my friend, is not fitness. I do not love exercise, okay? I failed gym class in 11th grade, okay? I am not a former athlete, okay? I didn't play school sports. Yeah, I was a cheerleader when I was like 10, but there's not a lot of athleticism involved in that. Whole nother story. Okay, I am not your stereotypical personal trainer. I am not your stereotypical person who loves exercise. I'm none of those things, okay? I exercise because I need it for my mental health, okay? Do I feel good after exercise? Sure. Do I love lifting weights? Yes. Do I love teaching fitness, group fitness? Absolutely. It's one of my favorite things to do. But it's not because I like to exercise. It's because I love the emotion, the extra, and the like energy and all the things that comes with it. It's not because I love to be active. Okay, so for 6 weeks I had to put that all on hold. Okay, which took a big toll on me emotionally, because that was my avenue of release for a lot of emotional things that I struggle with, which makes me turn to food. Okay, because I am a food addict, I am a binge eater, and a lot of emotional eating going on in my life, right? So I had that for 6 weeks. Okay, now I'm slowly coming out of that, because now I'm allowed to introduce fitness. Okay, now here's what I want to talk about: accountability and grace a little bit. Okay, so many times in my life, more times than I could ever count to you, okay, and I'm pretty confident many times, probably more times than you want to count, you could probably say the same thing, that we do not give ourselves grace. Okay, so we know what's working for us right now, but the world is not perfect. Our schedules are not perfect, nor are we. Okay, so our ideal schedule, our ideal plan, our ideal routine is not always going to be able to happen. Okay, and so many times for myself, and I am pretty certain for you, because your routine is disrupted. It is not the way you think it should be, whether that's due to circumstances that you can't control, whether that's due to something that popped up that day and made you do something or not do something that you wanted to or didn't want to do. Whatever. When the plan or routine is disrupted, we give up. We do not hold ourselves accountable, and we do not give ourselves grace. We say we're not perfect, so what's the point? Right? Okay, now, I'm sharing this with you because so many times you see my news feed or my results or my progress or my success or my whatever, and you see all the good in it, okay? And there is lots of good in it, and I focus so much on the good, and I really try to convey the not so great, okay? But holy cannoli, I shouldn't say cannoli or I'll go buy a freaking cannoli. I need to give myself grace right now. The past 7 weeks have been emotionally and physically tough due to my recovery. I did not anticipate throwing in grief. Okay? This past week, our family pet, who has been with us for 12 years, crossed the Rainbow Bridge. He is my first personal pet that I've ever lost. We did not have pets growing up. Our first pet in my growing up in my household, I was 15 years old, and while yes, I love that dog, it's a great dog, and there's a little bit of bond and connection. I moved out. I was 15. Like, I don't know. It was just different. Okay, this dog is our family dog. My son picked him when he was 7 years old. My daughter doesn't even remember getting him because she was 1. So they essentially grew up with this dog. We had him for 12 years. He was not 12 years old. We adopted him from a shelter. And I knew that it would be tough to lose him. Part of me thought he was immortal and would live forever. I knew it would be tough to lose him. I was not anticipating the level of emotion that I am in fact feeling. So you combine that with my already hard emotion of dealing with my not being able to exercise for 6 weeks and not dealing with my emotions. Throw in hormones, because I'm getting my period, which I was getting my period this week. And let me tell you, I know I talk a lot about this, but that's because for me, and I know for other people, the level of emotion that is around my period sometimes is horrendous. Okay, so I have recovery. I now have grief, and I have hormones. Okay, and holy cow, do I need to give myself grace? Okay, because what I'm dealing with right now is not what I'm going to deal with forever. But it's also not a reason to give up. Okay? And so many times in my life I gave up when it wasn't easy. Okay? And or when it wasn't perfect. Okay? So giving up when it's not easy and giving up when it's not perfect or when it's not ideal, you're lacking self-accountability. Okay? Now, did I say, oh, well, a couple of these, I mean, my eating this past 2 weeks was probably the worst eating that I've had in, I don't know, definitely 3 years, probably 4. And I'm not talking about the quantity, I'm talking about the action and the choices and the feelings and thoughts behind it, okay? I knew it in the moment. I knew I was feeling it. I knew it, okay? And I was working with it as best I could. But it's not a reason. None of these things are a reason to say, I'll do better when I get through this. I'll try again. I'll start over in a couple weeks. You know, whatever the arbitrary date is in the new year. That's the time frame that we're in, right? If I would have been on a diet, you know, whatever the diet would have been, if I would have been in a place where I was trying to lose weight, and I can only reference that because I was never trying to maintain weight ever in my life, because all I ever did my whole life until 2018 was lose or gain. At this time of the year, I would say F it, okay? And I would wait for the new year. How many of you are waiting for the new year right now? If you're waiting for the new year right now, you have no self-accountability right now, okay? I know that's pretty blunt, but the excuses of holidays, surgery, grief, different plan, different routine, whatever, you know, that's what they are. They're excuses, okay? Now, some of them have a little bit of reason behind them, okay? But if you're using that, okay, it may be a reason you acted this way or did this or skipped this day or this maybe week, whatever. But if you're saying because of that, I'm not trying, because of that, I'm giving up, because of that, I'm waiting until, then it becomes an excuse, okay? There's a very fine line between a reason and an excuse, okay? And then the grace comes in at knowing that your routine, your ideal, your plan is not always going to be perfect. Life does happen, okay? You need to be able to change and mold and flow when it's not ideal. You need to forgive yourself and say, it's okay. It doesn't mean I have to give up. It doesn't mean I have to stop trying. It doesn't mean I'm failing. Give yourself grace. If you're still showing up, if your effort is even half of what it is normally, you're still winning. Okay? Here's a couple things I never do. I never, ever say, I'll start on Monday. Never. Ever. Every day is its own day for me. Okay? Saturday, Sunday, Monday through Friday, they are all the same to me. Okay? I never start over on a Monday. I never start over. Okay? I do better. I try again. I never have a projected date that I am going to start over. I never start over on a Monday. I do not wait for a new year, a new month, a new week. Okay? And I also know that recently, well, not terribly recently, but I have talked about this a little bit the other week, last week, whenever it was, that I have been eating in a maintenance phase for over a year. You know, I haven't been trying to lose weight and whatever, but then to sort of reset my mind, my brain, and re-engage after being so long out of this fitness realm, it feels like it, 6 weeks, but I decided to go into a calorie deficit 3 weeks ago, I don't know when it was. I went into a calorie deficit, and then I started struggling. You know, we started to have some emotions because the dog wasn't doing well, and you know, I knew where that was headed, and it was definitely causing me to emotionally eat. And the first couple of days I was trying to stay in this deficit, and I wasn't able to because I was comparing that week to the week before. That week before I did not know what I had known the next week. So I was able to do really well in this calorie deficit that I wanted to be in for probably 10 days or so. And then I was trying to do that when I was dealing with these emotions that, one, I'm not familiar with, two, I wasn't prepared for, and three, I didn't have the avenue that I normally have of dealing with that, with fitness. So instead of me feeling like a failure at the end of the night, instead of me having these unrealistic expectations at the moment, I gave myself some grace and stopped the calorie deficit. Why do I need to be in a calorie deficit? Why do I need to try to reset my brain when I'm going through something that I was not prepared for? I have to change. I have to be able to sway. Okay, the wind's coming. I need to be able to go back and forth. I can't just blow over and lay there and wait for it all to pass, right? So I stopped the calorie deficit. If I want to do that again, I will when I'm emotionally equipped to do it. But right now, this past week and a half, I could not do it. Now, am I using food? Yeah, probably. Okay. Again, hormones plus grief, not a great combo. But I'm also giving myself grace, saying, okay, you need to be able to eat well. So let's focus on your food choices and healthier eating habits and adding fitness back in now that you can, and not so much on a calorie deficit. We don't need to do that right now. Grace. Accountability mixed with grace. You need both. You have to have both. Now, this was way longer than I wanted it to be, but that's what I wanted to share with you today. So I hope you have a good Sunday. Reach out if you need anything, if you have any questions. I am offering a 6-week fitness class starting next Sunday to take you through the holidays to keep that calorie burn under control. And personal training services are back on the schedule. I'm also now offering lifestyle motivation coaching, with really helping you work towards your weight loss goals. I don't want to call myself a weight loss coach. I think that's, and I'm not going to call myself that, okay? But I can help you move closer to your weight loss goals through the lifestyle motivation coaching. So if you have any questions, you want any information on personal training or lifestyle motivation coaching, let me know. And I am working on a group lifestyle motivation course that's going to make coaching much more affordable for some who are struggling financially and can't necessarily afford to have a one-on-one coach, because again, my passion is helping you hit your goals. Okay, I want to help you succeed, so I'm going to come up with a couple different avenues for you to be able to do that. So have a happy Sunday.